This isn't how I wanted this to end. You sent them to my house! You came after my daughter, you wanted to fight, you son of a bitch. Now you got one! Bro.
I told you. This was inevitable.
The Philosophy of Cobra Kai explained. Now, Cobra Kai is definitely one of the most badass shows of recent times. I mean, I practically grew up on the Karate Kid movies as a kid. So being able to see Daniel and Johnny all grown up as adults really created a huge sense of nostalgia for me. Now, even though Cobra Kai touches on many different types of topics and subjects, the main aspect of the show is all about exploring the two warring philosophies of Miyagi-Do karate and Cobra Kai karate. Miyagi-Do karate is all about inner peace, focus, and balance, whereas Cobra Kai karate is all about striking first, striking hard, and showing no mercy. The show constantly changes our opinion on the philosophies, highlighting the pros and cons of each way of thinking, which creates a sense of inner conflict in not just the characters of the show, but even us as the viewer, debating on which philosophy is the best. And in this video, what I'm going to be exploring is the Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do philosophies, and see which philosophy overall comes out on top, so that you can implement into your life, into your business, and in yourself, in order to become a much stronger and strategic person of power. So make sure you stick around to the end, because by the time you finish watching, you without a doubt will know which dojo to join.
The only way to stop Cobra Kai is if we all work together. But always remember, the reason we learn karate is
to show the world that you're not a bunch of pansy-ass nerds. You're gonna show them that you're tough. Because eagles don't get shit on. They're the ones that do the shitting. Just don't forget, being a badass doesn't mean being an asshole. The goal isn't to hurt other kids. The goal is to
win at all costs. Those we thought to be our allies have turned against us. Now our enemies are attacking us from all sides. There is no turning back.
So let's start with the Miyagi-Do philosophy. The Miyagi-Do philosophy stems heavily around the third strategy of war, which is the counterbalance strategy of not losing your presence of mind during conflict. The concept is that karate should only be used solely for self-defense. The art is to detach yourself from your emotions and let your enemy come to you. Only once your enemy strikes is then when you can fight back, but to only do so in a defensive manner. This philosophy emphasizes a lot on peace of mind and balance, and the balance that you work and train on will help bring you mental clarity and allow you to view situations a lot more objectively. This is what makes Miyagi-Do karate so powerful. It takes out emotional thinking and replaces it with rational thinking, which in my opinion is one of the most powerful attributes that can help change your life. It can help you choose your battles carefully and helps you develop empathy and mercy for your opponent without letting your emotions, such as your pride or ego, take control over you.
You remember lesson about balance?
Yeah.
A lesson not just karate only. Lesson for whole life. Whole life have a balance. Everything be better.
We then have the Cobra Kai philosophy, which heavily stems around the 15th law of power, which is to crush your enemy totally. The concept of the philosophy is placing yourself in a very aggressive, warlike mindset, to where you essentially take life by the balls. You don't take shit from anyone, you strike first, and when it comes to battle, you crush your enemy and show him no mercy whatsoever. This is what makes Cobra Kai karate so powerful. It helps develop confidence and drive to achieve your goals and drive to get back up when you're down, and to not take no for an answer.
All right, you ready to begin your training?
Yeah, Sensei.
What the? Lesson 1. Strike first. Never wait for the enemy to attack.
You could give me like a warning.
Quiet! We do not train to be merciful here.
Now the question that arises from all this is, which philosophy is better? Miyagi-Do karate or Cobra Kai karate? To which the answer is, it isn't quite that simple. The show explores both philosophies in many different lights, highlighting the pros and cons of both. I mean, we can see how the Cobra Kai philosophy helps its students to gain confidence.
I'm flipping the script.
Wait, you the kid with the lip? Nice cut, bro. You see that? Doesn't matter if you're a loser or a nerd or a freak. All that matters is that you become badass.
An example of this is where Miguel summons up the courage to ask out Sam when he is first rejected by her, by not taking no for an answer.
Never accept defeat. What if it's not a date? What if it's just two people hanging out at the same place, having fun, separately but together?
Sounds like a date.
Really? It wouldn't be a date.
If it's not a date, then I guess it sounds like it could be fun.
Great. What about tonight?
Pick me up at 8.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
But we can also see how, when he tries to develop compassion and mercy with his fight against Robbie, goes against him.
I'm sorry.
This is what the show is excellent at doing, and I feel the point the writers are trying to make is that the solution to life's problems isn't simply black or white. Life is too complicated, and it is impossible for just one philosophy to provide all the solutions to your problems. I mean, we can see how in season 3, after seeing the consequences of his actions, Johnny actually starts to detach more away from the extreme John Kreese Cobra Kai to his own, ironically, more balanced form of Cobra Kai.
You're crazy if you think I'm ever teaming up with you again. Garbage you're feeding them. Shit they're pulling. It's messed up. And you're to blame for that.
And we can see Daniel go through something very similar when he goes to Okinawa to learn, again, ironically, more of an aggressive, merciless form of Miyagi-Do.
What technique was that? My limbs were totally numb.
Secret Miyagi pressure points. If an enemy insists on war, then you take away their ability to wage it. Yeah?
Can you teach me?
By the end of season 3, we also get to see and understand the reasoning and story behind Kreese's Cobra Kai. The fact that it was born out of him fighting in war.
You're right, Captain.
Nah.
I didn't follow your lessons.
Come on. What are you waiting for?
I won't make that mistake again.
Kreese!
No mercy.
Kreese!
Both styles, in my opinion, are great. I mean, I love the clarity and balanced mind that Miyagi-Do brings. But I also love the ambitious drive that Cobra Kai brings. This lesson in essence brings us to our answer to which philosophy and dojo is the best, and that is both of them. The great martial artist Bruce Lee once said, "Be like water." He named his style of fighting Jeet Kune Do, which is inherently based on the form of having no form.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
This heavily references the 48th law of power, which is to assume formlessness. The problem with just being stuck to just one philosophy is that you become easily predictable, and predictability is a weakness for your opponent to use against you. They can easily anticipate your next move. This is why the aggressive Cobra Kai students seem to have the upper hand against the more balanced Miyagi-Do students, as they know they can wage psychological warfare without having to risk any physical consequence, as they know Miyagi-Do students are not supposed to attack first. This whole idea is what leads to the end of season 3, to where we see Daniel and Johnny team up and work together to teach the best of both philosophies and dojos to their students, combining the two philosophies and creating balanced but aggressive fighters. The whole idea that is put across is that life isn't black or white. Each and every situation you face depends on context. In your personal life with your friends and family, you may want to lean more on the Miyagi-Do philosophy, whereas in business and work, you may want to lean on the Cobra Kai philosophy. But the philosophies themselves are not mutually exclusive. There's both good and bad in both. But it's not like you just have to pick one and stick with it. You need to become a practical student of many different ideologies, philosophies, and strategies, so that when you are placed into a situation, you can then distinguish and judge the circumstance by not being tied down to any rules, and then apply the optimal strategy that will work in that context. For example, in the school fight between Miguel and Robbie, Miguel was wrong at the time to show mercy and lower his guard, as the situation didn't call for that. In my opinion, he should have broke Robbie's arm in order to neutralize the threat. Whereas when Hawk demonstrated no mercy by breaking Dimitri's arm, there was no need for that whatsoever, as Dimitri was no longer posing any threat. Another example is when Robbie's in jail. By only choosing to defend himself, this made him a target of bullying. But as soon as he turned the tables and struck first, all the bullying stopped, and they both gained a mutual respect for each other. This is what I mean about life not being black or white. It always comes down to context. It all ultimately comes down to you and your judgment of the situation. And that's why I feel Johnny and Daniel teaming up at the end of season 3 is what is going to give their students much more of an advantage in comparison to Kreese's students. Cobra Kai is all about offense, and Miyagi-Do is all about defense. There will be a lot of contradictions between the two philosophies, and I guarantee in season 4, Daniel and Johnny will bump heads a lot. But despite this being inevitable, the students now get to learn the best of both worlds, where Daniel can work on Miguel's defense and Johnny working on Sam's offense, and they then can take them strategies and decide upon themselves when and where they should use it. and judge what circumstance to use it in. This is what is going to transform Johnny and Daniel's students into the ultimate balanced but aggressive fighter. And that leads me to the conclusion of which philosophy is the best.
Ready? Let's begin!
Now, this isn't to say that you should be a jack of all trades and master of none. Remember, Johnny and Daniel's students are still becoming masters of the craft of karate. They are still concentrating their efforts into one domain of martial art. It's just that they're exploring different forms of the craft within itself. Concentration is powerful, but so is fluidity. And if you would like to know more about this concept, then make sure you go check out our Bruce Lee breakdown. But before you do that, if you like this video, make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment below on what your thoughts and feelings are about Cobra Kai. Comment some of your favourite lessons and teachings from the show, and let me know what character or show breakdown would you like to see next. And if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel, and to all our loyal subscribers, we are glad you are here. We aim to produce at least one high quality animated video per week, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any golden knowledge. I'll see you soon.